Hi everyone, it's Samantha from Trying to Get By. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all well. So I've been thinking today about what are the most valuable tools that you use in the kitchen. The things that you think, oh yeah, that is really important, I really can't do without that. Could it possibly be an amazingly good knife? How about a really great pan, non-stick, works really well? But today, my favourite is my slow cooker. Why is it my favourite? Well, let me tell you. So you may wonder why I've picked my slow cooker. Well, at the moment, a slow cooker is one of the most essential tools in my kitchen. With these horrendous rising energy prices, a slow cooker is going to be the best way to cook your food. If you're using your hob, you're using a vast amount of energy. If you're using your oven, you're using a massive amount of energy. A slow cooker costs you pennies to cook your food. And there are so many things that you can cook in your slow cooker. Now, in regards to what it costs for you to run all the different items in your kitchen that you could use for cooking, I know Hope and Larry on Under the Median, have a look at their channel, it's amazing. It's one of the reasons I started my channel, was the inspiration from their channel. I'll link a video below that they did about what each item in your kitchen costs to run for an hour. Now, the way that they've done it is in dollars and cents because they're in America, but you can clearly see where the value lies in using a slow cooker. So what I've got for you in this video are a range of slow cooker meals that I've had a go at doing. Some I do regularly, some I've just tried out, and see what you think. Let me know in the comments below if there are any other slow cooker meals that you do that are really, really great for your family. So let's get on with what these recipes are. So it's early on Saturday morning, and the reason you're not seeing me is because I am still in my pyjamas and I have got my hair tucked up on top and I'm looking a bit of a mess. But it's a good time to start my slow cooker recipe. So today's is just going to be a plant-based chicken stew, casserole, and I've got my veggies all prepared and I have got some vegetable stock that I have made. This has been in the freezer because I just put all my leftover bits of veg, the tops and bottoms of bits, in a container in the freezer, and then once it's full, I make my own vegetable stock with that. So that will be going in here with my potatoes, carrots, leeks, some meat-free chunks and some kale, and I will be putting some garlic powder, onion powder and tarragon in there as well. So let's get cracking. I put my potatoes in first because I know most of the stock will be at the bottom, and that means the potatoes will be submerged by the stock. Then carrots on top, because again they need a little bit more cooking with the stock. And then I will pop my leeks in. There's quite a lot of leek here. This was just one leek, it was massive, but they cook down really, really easily, so that is not a problem. Then we will go in with our meat-free chunks. So quite a few of those going in, and we are running out of space. So later on, about halfway through the cooking time, I will be putting some kale in there, and you can come back and see what it's going to be like in a little bit. So this is the end of the day and we have thickened this up. I added my kale a couple of hours ago, and then about an hour ago I added some peas and some sweet corn. We thickened it with a bit of corn flour. If you haven't got corn flour, you can always thicken it with a bit of vegetable gravy. And this looks absolutely amazing. Did add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and it's absolutely fabulous. So we have got all of it nice and cooked. It looks so unctuous. This will serve both of us for tea tonight, and the rest of it will be portioned up and will go in the freezer. If you are making slow cooker recipes, make loads and freeze it. No point having this on and just doing a half container. So, or if you've got a big family, it's great and serves all of you. So this is our chicken, fake chicken, vegetable, potato, casserole. Enjoy. So this slow cooker recipe is stuffed peppers. Takes about 4 to 5 hours in the slow cooker, and what I've already prepped is over here I have some rice, some quinoa and some barley together, some chickpeas, and this is just some red onion and peppers. To that I've already added some oregano, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and I'm just about to add some Cajun seasoning to there. We'll go for 2 because we want it quite spicy. And then I'm just going to give that a bit of a mix around. Get my spatula to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stuff the peppers. We've got a good protein source with the chickpeas, plenty of flavour, some nice carbohydrates. I did make more of the rice mixture, but we're going to have chili tomorrow, so I can save that and reheat that for tomorrow. So next I am going to stuff the peppers. So very simply, I've stuffed the peppers all the way up to the top. It's just now a case of putting the lid on and putting it on a low heat for about 4 to 5 hours. Check how tender your peppers are. If you need to, you can turn it up for the last hour or so, and that should be great. At the very end, I might just sprinkle a little bit of cheese over the top, which should add a nice creaminess to the flavour. So here we are, just as I am taking the lid off to see how this looks. Oh, nice and steamy. I did put some cheese on top about an hour before I finished off, and I'd turned it up to high for that last hour. It certainly made them lovely and soft. If you wanted them a little bit crispier, I would say pop them in under the grill for 5 minutes or into the air fryer for 5 minutes, but I am more than happy with these. We're going to serve them on some rocket, which I got bargain price. Oh, oh, oh. How's that looking? It smells amazing. Over here. And again. Excellent. So that's another slow cooker recipe added to the recipe book. So today's slow cooker recipe is going to be a chilli. Now it's not going to be a traditional chilli. It's not even possibly going to be classed as anything like an authentic chilli. It's just my version of a chilli based on what I've got in. So over here I have some peppers that I found. I've got some tofu. This is some pak choy that was looking a bit sad in the fridge, so I'm throwing that in. I've got some onions here. I've got some mushrooms I have already cooked off with some tomato paste because I prefer my mushrooms cooked off first rather than going straight in the slow cooker. I have got some tinned tomatoes. That was my tomato paste. And controversially, I've got a tin of baked beans. It fills it up. It adds some extra, it adds the beans to it, which some people do put in chilli, some people don't put in chilli. But I'm not a big fan of kidney beans, which I know traditionally can go in a chilli. I don't like the thick skin on them, so I'm going to use some bay beans. Nice and cheap. And then over here, I have got all the spices are going in. So we've got some cayenne, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, chilli, cumin, and oregano. I might put a squeeze of lemon in, depending on near the end for the flavour. But that is all going in to the pot. So here's the chili ingredients all inside the slow cooker, all mixed up. I used approximately a teaspoon of each one of the herbs and spices, and I've tasted it, and at the moment the flavours are really, really good. But obviously they will develop differently over the time of the slow cooking. So I will check on that about half an hour before I'm about to serve it, see where we're up to, and add anything else I think that it will need, probably a little bit of salt near the end. And that's going to go on low now for approximately 6 to 8 hours. And I'll see you when it's cooked. Absolutely yummy. Chili is ready. I've tasted this and the spice level was perfect. Just got a nice little kick to it. Really, really tasty. Oh, steamy as well. Gonna have this with leftover rice. And if you can hear the dog in the background, she's going mental. Some avocado that got reduced, and some cornbread, which is Pioneer Woman's skillet cornbread recipe, which is absolutely amazing. I will put a link in the blurby thing at the bottom. And yeah, really cool. Thanks very much. So this is a slow cooker recipe I have never tried before, so I'm going to attempt the slow cooker bread. So in my mixer, I have 500 grams of strong white bread flour, 7 grams of fast action yeast, and down the bottom there is about 1 gram or a large pinch of salt. And to that I'm going to add about 350 millilitres of warm water, not too hot. So when you dip your fingers in it, it feels like the water's not there. They call that blood temperature. So I'm just going to add that, give it a mix, and knead it with the dough hook for about 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, depending on how well it comes together. If you were hand kneading it, you'd probably need to knead it for about 10 minutes. So we'll come back when the dough is complete. So initially when mixing the dough, I thought I was going to have to add extra water to it because it looked really scraggly. But keep kneading, and it does come together. This dough came out really nicely. So basically you smooth it round into a ball, place it on some baking parchment, and then it goes into the slow cooker. There we go. And apparently all I do now is pop the lid on, pop it on high, and wait 2.5 hours. We'll be back. So the bread has been in the slow cooker for the 2.5 hours that it said, and I've tested the temperature with my digital thermometer, and it said it was 94 degrees, and the recipe says it needs to be over 90 degrees to be cooked. I know the base is nice and brown. It's sounding pretty hollow, but I think, to be honest, I want to put it in the oven just for 10 minutes. Just to take this slightly doughy top, because obviously the condensation on the lid to drip down, and I think I'd like it a little bit more golden, so I think I'm going to pop it in the oven for 10 minutes and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is out of the oven, much nicer, more golden on top. I have cut a slice in preparation. The structure looks quite nice, still got a nice bounce. I am now going to try some out with a little bit of butter. Okay, let's have a little taste. Oh yeah. So good. The crust is seriously good. Can you hear that? I hope you can hear that crunch. Yeah, that's seriously good. I would definitely make this again. So much less stress and hassle than doing the double rise of making other breads. Excellent. So a couple of days ago, in one of my zero waste food boxes, I got some mangoes. Now, mangoes are not something I would normally buy. They are normally far too expensive. But I was thinking, what can I do with them? And I thought, chutney, mango chutney. Oh, I love mango chutney with a curry. It's absolutely delicious. So what I've got in here is a couple of the mangoes chopped up. I've roughly chopped it because I like having some nice puree, but I also like having some nice big chunks. And the recipe that I was looking at online, which I will link in the description below, was talking about using ginger, garlic, cinnamon, chili, cloves, white vinegar and brown sugar. I don't have all those ingredients, so I'm going to go for some ginger powder. I am going to put in whatever I have got left of my cinnamon. I am going to go for some garlic powder. I quite like my garlic, so that can go in there. And then, depending on how spicy you want it, maybe half a teaspoon of chili. Then I've not got any cloves, but I figure star anise would work quite well, so that can go in. Then I will add some brown sugar. I don't have white wine vinegar, but I do have apple cider vinegar, so I'm going to put in a good glug of that. Let's give it a little mix around. Okay, lid on, and come back and have a look at it in about 6 hours, and it needs to be on the temperature of high. So the pickle has finally been made, and it's out of the slow cooker, and it's been in the fridge since yesterday, and it is amazing. It's dark and rich. It's not like a Branston pickle. It's not like a traditional mango chutney. It's got a little bit of a richer flavour, but it's still nice and fresh from the mango, and it's got a little bit of heat behind it, which is really, really tasty. And this is why I am having it today with my cheese on toast for my lunch. So my next slow cooker recipe, I'm going to attempt to do a cake. Now, I found a slow cooker cake recipe online, and she put strawberries and raspberries at the base of her cake, but I've got some apricots that I want to use up, so I'm going to attempt it with apricots instead. I will put a link to her recipe that I found in the blurb down below, and I will show you how I'm going to make it. So in the bowl I have got some sugar, some butter and a big splash of vanilla extract, so I'm going to cream those together and then add my next ingredients. Next, I'm going to go in with 2 eggs and cream it again. Stage, don't worry if it looks a little bit curdled, because the flour will bring that back together. So next I'm going to add in 100 grams of self-raising flour. Then I am going to add a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm going to blend that together just using a spatula. Now, also in my recipe, I'm going to add some almonds, because I think apricot and almond will go quite nice together. Okay, so now over in my slow cooker, I'm using my butter wrapper to grease the base and around the sides. Then I am going to add a mixture that I've made of 50 grams of brown sugar and 50 grams of butter. And this is going in the base and is going to be part of what caramelizes the fruit. So I'm just going to spread that around. Excuse fingers, they are clean. Okay, then I'm going to lay the fruit on top of that. So I've got my apricots. So I'm going to go face down with the apricots. See if we can fit these all in. There were 7 apricots. These came in my food waste pack. And I'm not really going to eat them fresh, which is perfectly fine to do, but I wanted to try and do something a little bit different with them. And I think I'm going to have the perfect number here. How cool is that? That's brilliant. And then I'm just going to pop my cake mix on top. Make sure you scrape everything out of the bowl. I don't want to waste anything. And carefully spread that on top of your apricots or whatever fruit you decide to use. Now the good thing with this is the apricots are not going to move around because it's like they're glued to the bottom with the butter mixture. Again, excuse fingers. Last little bit. I hate watching baking shows where nobody scrapes the bowl. There we go. So this is going to go in on high for, she recommends for about an hour and a half, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because obviously it's not a very thick cake. But she also says that you need to put a tea towel between this and the lid to prevent the condensation. So let's put this to bed for an hour and a half and we'll see what it looks like. So this is the big reveal. I did check this about an hour and a half ago and it was not ready at all. I've given it another hour and as you can see, nice coming out clean. But I think what we're going to have to do is turn it off and give it a chance to cool down. I think I'll just release the sides slightly while it's hot. It smells amazing. Absolutely amazing. But I think we're just going to have to give that chance to cool off before we can release it from the bottom of the pan. See you when it cools down. So I hope you enjoyed these slow cooker recipes that I had a bit of a go on. Like I said before, a couple of these are regular dishes that we do, but some of them we've never done before. The bread was amazing. I will definitely be doing that again. The cake, Chris said, was a little bit more bready than cakey, but still was really nice and he absolutely loved it with a bit of custard. So we'll probably try that again, maybe adapt some different recipes. Any of the recipes that I have used or adapted from, I will put in the blurb below. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time and please like and subscribe this video. It really helps me out. Thanks so much.